hostess, and this here may be tough to you. Snack cake to me, yeah, more hostess. This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feta, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's goody, Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joking, I'm back again with a brand new video. I'm gonna keep it above Berry Biscuit, man. This game was exciting from start to finish. There wasn't really a dull moment at all at any second during this game. Now, was it the Falcons-Saints game, which I caught pieces of here and there while watching this game? No, that was a crazy game too. But this game between the Bengals and the Panthers, I think lived up to whatever hype it actually generated, and I think it even may have exceeded it. This was actually a pretty high-scoring game, and from the start, it was very competitive. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit worried. I mean, obviously, Curtis Samuel's been out, and I'm thinking that this surgery and heart problem is a much bigger deal than it was initially reported as being. I thought it was gonna be like a quick little thing, and he'll be back the next week or be back at practice the next couple of days. That didn't happen. Obviously, we know that Dante Jackson was not practicing at all. He suffered a groin injury, and he didn't practice at all this whole week, I'm pretty sure. But the biggest news, which I did do a video of above my head right here, was Cersei being put on IR after being in the concussion protocol. That was huge news for the team. We didn't know if we were going to sign someone, if we were going to say, okay, well, Colin Jones or Sean Golden, you're up next. Go ahead and start. It was starting to look like 2018 was going to be another one of those three little word kind of seasons for us. And I was very worried. Like, look, man, our whole secondary is already, depleted. We don't have the guys that we thought was going to be out there at the beginning of the season. Ross Cockrell, a couple of other guys, man. And it was kind of tough when I saw that news about Cersei. But we absolutely stepped up. Now, I do want to say this before I get on a roll here, because I am getting on a roll, is if the Panthers had lost this game, I would like to have given the context, because I would have made sure I mentioned this if we had lost. I just want to mention that the Bengals didn't have Joe Mixon, and they spent a lot of the game, I think at least a full half, without their best receiver and the top 5 receiver in the league, AJ Green. Enough context. Look, man, we beat them. I can't take anything away from the Panthers, man. We absolutely did beat these guys. Now, the first drive did stall out a little quickly. I was getting a little worried. It stalled out kind of quickly. And then Andy Dalton's, first pass was like a 20-yarder. And I was thinking to myself, ooh, it's kind of tough out here, huh? But we really did start to gel and get things working together. And we made some pretty good moves. Now, leading up to this game, I read an article, I think it was on Panthers.com or somewhere on Twitter, I think, where it said the Bengals like to put AJ Green in the slot a lot because he can run different routes, but also because of the matchup difference there. And it's a smart move to do because, look, man, if you have one of the best receivers in the game going against another team's, third best corner, if they have a nickel package in there, it could be up against a safety or a linebacker, depending on what it is. It's going to be a really easy matchup for that guy. And at first, it did look like Captain Munderland was getting a little bit cooked out there. Even when it wasn't AJ Green, Cap was kind of getting cooked on several different routes. And it wasn't just the first half. It was kind of the whole game. It wasn't too bad, and it didn't affect us too much. But there was a few different times when I was looking at that inside matchup. I saw one corner route that was just wide open. And I was like, man, we could at least, pretend to put a body on him. But overall, our coverage was actually not bad at all. And when I say not bad at all, I mean pretty good. I mean, great, honestly. We held Andy Dalton to 29 for 46, 352, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Now, guys who were coming to the other video, I did the preview talking about how, the Colts and the Ravens put up 300 plus on the Bengals. And they're like, look, man, context matters here because they were throwing all those passes when we were already up. They were playing catch up, and we're just, hanging back a little bit, just playing prevent. Same kind of concept here, man. Andy was throwing some long bombs, but it wasn't really until the very end he was connecting with those longer ones. I don't think he cracked 300 until we were already comfortably up there. And the 4 interceptions was really 3. And then the disrespectful thing they did in the fourth quarter, 3 seconds left, no timeouts, down 10, and Andy Dalton spikes the ball at our 40. For what? Why even do that? I thought that was extremely disrespectful. And then you threw it up to Luke for another interception. Look, you deserve that interception. It deserves to be on your record. So I'm okay with that 100%. But we played a really good game on both sides of the ball, not just defense. Look, I've always said, whenever I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit it. And, hey, I was wrong. Devin Funchess came up clutch. He had some really, really clutch catches. It was one where he found the soft spot in the zone like 25, 30 yards deep. He just sits in the zone. He's like, look, Cam, I'm right here wide open for you. What you need? And then like 2 or 3 plays later, the man catches a 4-yard touchdown for us. Devin Funchess really did come through in this game. And I think I said we're going to need to see a lot from DJ Moore and Jarius Wright. Well, we didn't see very much out of either one of those guys, but that didn't really matter because we saw a lot of basically borderline perfect work on the ground. Now, I'm not sure who do I focus on first or more here. Do I focus on just how great our patchwork O-line did, blocking in both pass protection and in the run game? Or do I focus on Christian McCaffrey, who I'll admit I was starting to get a little bit worried about us using it a little bit too much and not going with a double-headed attack with, C.J. Anderson taking like maybe 35% of the rushes and Christian McCaffrey going 65%. But Christian McCaffrey proved that, look, I can be a bell cow here, inside, outside, catching it. It really don't matter. I can do it all. Before I get on him too much, I just want to say that our coaching staff is definitely one of the smarter ones. I think it's partially because we have Norv Turner now and not Shula, but we really have shown that we are able to grow and adapt and change our game plan. Something that we did not do last year. It was always the same thing no matter what we were shown. If we see something that we can fix, we can change on the drop of a hat and we can make whatever we need to happen. Now on to some numbers. Christian had 28 carries, 184 yards, an average of 6.6. It was kind of sad he didn't get a rushing touchdown, but this man was definitely the catalyst to just about all of our offense today, man. It was actually ridiculous. He was putting in work from his all angles, inside, outside, like I said. He wasn't really that key in the pass game. I mean, he only caught 2 passes today, which is another example of how we went 180 in our philosophy from just last week against the Falcons, where he had, I think, 14 catches. This man can do it all. Cam Newton, he only had 150 yards. He passed for 2 touchdowns, but also rushed in for 2 touchdowns. And there were just times where the Bengals looked like they were just completely lost. The Bengals defense today looked like our defense last week, where they have a good front 7. They have a star-studded front 7, and especially their front 4, that just couldn't stop the run. Usually they could, usually they will, but they couldn't stop the run. They're getting gashed left and right, and they just dropped the ball, honestly. And speaking of dropping the ball, we made Andy Dalton do that. Who do I bring up more on defense? Is it Efe Abada, who had a strip sack that was taken away from him, and he said, you know what, how would I get an interception instead? Off of a tip from James Bradbury. And then another sack. Efe Abada has to have the craziest backstory of someone getting into the NFL out of nowhere. And then we have to get into just how wild Dante Jackson went this game. He had 1 interception last week, and he said, you know what, coach? 1 may not have been enough last week. It was a good game, coach, but I got to do more. And that's what he did. He came through with 2 interceptions this week. This man, Dante Jackson, is really, he's showing that he is the real deal. Our whole defense went crazy. We saw Brian Cox Jr. out there playing against the tight end sometimes. And I really want to see that same kind of action from Marquise Haynes, who I noticed, was he not active this game? I'm not sure exactly what the story is with Marquise Haynes, but when he's ready to play, I hope he's been watching Brian Cox Jr. because he was doing some really good work on those tight ends and playing in coverage. I think this all around, we played a really good game. I mean, even Mike Pilardi was doing some good work with his punts today. We played a complete game. Cam was on it. Christian was on it. Our whole defense. When Luke had to go out and get an IV because he was dehydrated, I was worried for a second. And that first play of that drive, you'll remember, that was when Andy Dalton threw a really deep strike. I forgot who it was. But we came through, held them. They had to kick a field goal, and they missed it. They missed a 53-yard field goal, and I thought the game was cooked there. I thought, okay, we're good. Let's go ahead and make this money, get out with the win. But we're nothing if we're not the Cardiac Cats, and we have to make every game a nail-biter. After that, we drove and got into field goal range. Everything looked smooth sailing. And then Cam gets an unsportsmanlike, which knocks us 15 yards out and brings us out of field goal range. So it could have, come down to it being a 1-possession game if the Bengals could have scored. But our defense did what our defense does very well, and they made sure that that wasn't going to be the case. And I think this game was really good proof of when we're on, when everyone's dialed in, there's not a team in the nation that can beat us. I'm really liking this Norv Turner style offense. It really does move a lot. That fake play action screen to C.J. Anderson where the whole defense is looking at Christian McCaffrey, you would never find that in Mike Shula's offense. Us going for it on 4th down, not getting it, but still going for it, showed a lot of guts, and I like that a lot. Not just for the Panthers, but for the NFL in general. I'm not a huge fan of punts. Anyway, man, what were your thoughts in this game? Let me know what you were looking at, what you were thinking about as the game was going on, man. Let me know in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.